Welcome to the shortest banjo podcast ever, the COVID sessions, where everybody holds a banjo, and if they don't have one, they have to play air banjo. All right, do your best is what I always say. Boy, I tell you what, y'all know who we're visiting with here this afternoon. It's the Possum. How you doing, Mr. Possum?
Oh, I feel capital. How you doing, Kurt?
Well, you know, I couldn't be much better. I'm excited about the day. I got up. I don't have COVID, so everything's wonderful. You know, how about you? Have you had any COVID yet?
Well, no, and that's the best thing about being a possum this year is that I can't get COVID. Possums just can't get it. They can't. You can. I can. It's great.
Have you tried?
Well, I mean, I guess my lifestyle would look like I'm trying to get it. I'm a close talker. I don't really have a ton of respect for boundaries or personal space. I like to party. I like to lick doorknobs. You know, it looks like I'm trying to get COVID, but I'm just out here trying to live my best life.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad you don't have COVID and you don't get it. And but you know, it has affected a lot of other people and other comics. You know, like yourself. And I was just curious if this pandemic has affected your comedic life.
Oh, sure. I mean, if it wasn't for COVID, I would probably be a millionaire this year. I mean, this time last year, I was performing at Vegas and, Apollo Theater. Wayne Newton got off stage so that I could perform just last year. So it's really, this pandemic is the only thing keeping me from really going out there and getting the whole cookie.
The whole cookie, yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that you had actually performed in such large venues as that.
Oh yeah. I mean, the just so much awesome stuff was happening to me before this disease ravaged the land. I
Yeah.
mean, uh, Steven Tyler came over to my house and took his shoes off and put his feet in a bath in there with me one day, and it was just because I'm famous. You
Huh.
know,
Yeah.
I got into a foot bath with Steven Tyler.
Take us back to your early Possum days,
Uh-huh.
when you first started doing comedy.
Well, I guess I started doing comedy in around 1975. My age is indeterminate and vague. And I used to do the clubs, and I gave Jerry Seinfeld his start, Gary Shandling. Richard Pryor was a friend of mine. Of course, I get no credit for any of this because I'm a disgusting creature.
It is hard for something like you out there, isn't it?
But who's the disgusting creature this year? It's not me. I'll give you a hint. It's y'all.
Now, you got a good point there.
And I love the moral superiority. I don't often get to exercise that muscle. It feels good. It feels
Did
real
you
good.
know that bat over there in China that started the COVID?
Not personally, I didn't know that bat. I know a lot of bats, but I ain't know no Chinese bat. I got a lot of American bat friends.
Yeah. I just wondered if that had created any extra tension in the the animal / bat world that, you know, a
I
bat had started the COVID.
I had to drop my subscription to Bat World last year when I started losing some money. It's one of the more expensive magazines that get delivered to people's homes, Bat World.
Mm-hmm. So you're not up on the whole issue of whether that bat is.
No,
You know,
I wish I was. I'd give that bat a what for.
yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
ruin my career.
Yeah. You bring a banjo with you?
You think I have a banjo? You think I own a banjo?
Okay, well, you know that you have to play air banjo, correct?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can
Okay.
play
All
a
right.
banjo.
So Act like you're holding a banjo.
Like that.
Yeah, like that. And
Yeah.
then start plucking it. Act like you're plucking it.
I bent that string.
That was good. Were you funny the first time you got on stage?
Oh yeah, it was easy. Comedy's easy.
Is it?
Yeah, it's easy. A lot of people say it's hard, but I just, for me, I just get up there and start telling my jokes, and
Yeah.
I've never bombed, never
Really?
once. I don't know what a bomb feels like, and it's tight.
Huh.
It's easy. My job's good. Like I said, Wayne Newton once got out of the way for me, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Can you
pretty
sing
good.
Donk? Can you sing Donka Shane?
Yeah, I can sing Donkey Shane.
Okay. Probably not as good as Wayne Newton, but
Well,
still.
he's got the voice of a child in that song. He was just a boy.
Yeah,
A lot
that's
of
true.
people think that's a lady singing Donkey Shane, but that's Wayne Newton singing Donkey Shane. He
Hmm.
was just like 5 years old or something. I can't compete with a 5-year-old boy. I won't.
Well, he was a hard one to compete. He was amazing. Played every instrument. He was like the miracle boy on Ed Sullivan.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was good.
Now look at him.
He's getting kicked off stage by a possum.
Yeah,
Which is yeah, it says
I
a
like
lot.
you. I
So
like to tell him that and remind him of that.
yeah,
Yeah, you did something when you was a boy. He likes that.
when you're out in Vegas and you're playing the big rooms out there, do they put your picture up on those big neon signs? And how does that feel if they do?
Oh, to have your name in lights in Vegas is no big deal at all. It's something I've just been so used to
Wow.
as really one of the world's best performers of all time. It's just, a lot of people get excited about that. And I say, shut up. It's just a light, you know.
Hmm. Yeah. So, what was your worst gig ever, and what was your best gig ever as a comedian?
Well, my worst gig ever was when somebody came out and tried to pull me off stage with that cane
Mm-hmm.
and
The hook, giving you the hook.
the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Where
because
was that? Where was that?
well, that was at the Apollo Theater in 1982.
Oh.
And the thing is, I was doing pretty good up there, Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they just wanted to see an animal chased off. That's why they came out there with that cane. He was dressed like a clown,
Yeah.
and it worked. I mean, for security, I got to say the cane is king because
Bad.
it got me out of there, but good. The
Did,
best gig I ever did.
well, let's go. Don't go away from the Apollo yet. When they pulled you off, did you actually have an official slot to be up there on the stage, or did you just wander in?
Well, I had kind of what I had called Cape feared them. I hung out beneath the stage and they didn't know I was there. And
Mm-hmm.
then I kind of popped up. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess they thought they were getting rid of a rodent, but I'm not a rodent. I'm a marsupial. And I said that many times.
Okay. And then, yeah, so, okay, that's pretty bad. What was your most memorable good show?
Well, I went under for some surgery to get some teeth pulled, and I had that laughing gas. And while I was under, I had a show in my head that was Can we count that?
Sure, I'd like to hear about it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I was a cartoon rooster, and I was just walking around waving to everybody, and everyone was cheering. Humans were inviting me into their house and saying, "Here, have some of this stew. Oh, please, sleep in my bed. Oh, wear my child's clothes, all that stuff." And it was a warm, fuzzy feeling while they were pulling my teeth.
Mm. Yeah, that doesn't count,
Oh,
but that's okay though.
well, I guess the second best one is uh, I performed in a parking lot at behind Crackers, and that was a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. That boy, I bet the food was good.
Yeah, they just gave me crackers.
Who is your who was your inspiration to start doing stand-up comedy?
Probably my daddy.
Your daddy?
Yeah. He would always say real funny stuff when he got home from whatever he was doing, and I thought I want to come in and yell stuff. You
Yeah.
know, he'd come in and be like, "You call this a family?" And we'd all laugh,
Yeah.
and he'd be
Yeah,
like,
that's
"Get out of my chair," and I'd be like, "Yes, father," and then we would all laugh, and then of course I really would get out of his chair. That was his beanbag chair.
yeah.
Funny
That,
guy.
yeah, just boy. So it was just a riot, kidding around all the time in your
All
house.
the time kidding around, being like, "Can y'all just give me, I don't know, 10 years? Just get out of here for 10 years." And we're, that's funny because we expect him to say a few minutes, you know, but
Yeah.
he said 10 years. He
Yeah.
really didn't care about
Mhm.
watching us grow up, which I think is funny.
Well, have you been hurt in terms of bookings canceled because of the pandemic?
Oh, yeah. I was supposed to host their Oscars last year and
Really?
they canceled it because of the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you're almost like a possum renaissance man.
Right.
You could almost be called the goat of possums, you know, when you think about it.
The goat of possums.
Well, you know,
Because people think I'm evil and associated with Satan.
no, I think that if y'all crossbred, it would make your meat taste better. If you had to change up your whole act, you know, which has been wildly successful, which is great, and you
Clearly.
had to take on the persona of an animal to do your act,
Hmm.
what persona, what animal would that be?
Interesting. So if I was going to be an animal, but for performance purposes,
Yes, in your act, your stand-up comedy act,
hmm,
and you'd have to wear a costume.
I'd say probably a dolphin
A dolphin.
because
Why?
they're smooth and people think they're smart. It's like when you're a dolphin, you're like a person with glasses. People just assume you're smarter, and
Yeah,
they give you that respect, give you your propers.
yeah, yeah.
And I
Well, that.
think I would never have a dry mouth anymore because people would be dumping water on me all the time. I hate a dry mouth. I've said that many times.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I don't think anybody would have the balls to eat a dolphin. I mean, here we are, you're talking about what my meat tastes like, which is unsettling, and not the first time I've heard it mentioned, but nobody would ever eat a dolphin because they're smart and they're smooth.
That's true. It's like eating another sentient, intelligent being.
Right, which no one would. I'll
Well,
have to say the one good thing about being me is that no one really is tempted to eat me. You probably think I taste gross, which I probably do.
well, it. I've found it just depends on what you've been eating on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are what you meet.
What kind of joke would a dolphin tell?
Oh, I don't know. Probably, boy, is it dry in here? It's just me, or something like here, give me a math problem, I'll solve it. You know, something about smart people. I can do your child's homework. I'm a dolphin.
And the place would just it'd fall out.
Oh, yeah, that would be the dolphin's catchphrase. Hey, I finished your dumb kid's homework. I'm a dolphin. And there's erupt roses and panties being thrown.
You could get work at SeaWorld when they open back up.
I don't really like working with partners. It's
You
not
don't.
good.
Yeah. You're
I
more of
like
a,
to work alone.
you're more of a solo possum act.
Well, you know, I do the radio show with Big Hal and
Yeah.
absolutely just can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
Not some hot tea that I just spilled for the first time, but I just can't stand him.
Yeah. Do
He's
you
just
sit
he's not tight.
much time? Do you sit far apart there in the studio when you're doing that radio show?
Yeah, it's kind of like that scene from Batman where he has Vicky Vale over and they're sitting across from each other at that long table. It's a lot like that, and
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Yeah. How and I know you've worked with Big Hal before, but you've never worked with anyone else because that irritates me. Do you think Big Hal gets you?
He gets me riled up.
Does he?
That was
What
funny.
what?
The original idea for the name for the show was going to be Possum and Little Stinky, and he was going to be Little Stinky. But
Little
he said,
stink.
how about Big Hal? And I said, all right, as long as you're second, Possum and Big Hal. And he said, no, how about Big Hal and Possum? And I've just never really, I haven't loved him the same since then, just because I think Possum and Little Stinky sounds cute.
Do humans stink to you?
They sometimes do. I mean, he stinks like he's
Oh,
bobbing for apples and a barrel of cologne.
I guess. Gotcha. So it's just he particularly stinks. It's not like humans generally think possums stink.
Right. Well,
But
people think possums have a stink, but it's like an accidental stink, like I just can't help it. But I think humans stink on purpose, which is worse.
from not bathing or just from stuff they put on.
Stuff they put on, just weird sprays and soaps. And I
Mm-hmm.
smell natural. I smell like a little gamey, and I think that's good.
But
Hmm.
what was your favorite comedy club to work in when you were coming up the ranks?
There's a little club in Kentucky called Chuckle Fucks, and they was a barrel of laughs. They was fun. They gave you
Yeah.
chicken bones. They paid you in chicken bones, which all the other comics didn't like it because they was human, and they're like, "Don't pay me in chicken bones." But I was like, yes, please."
If you were to open up a comedy club yourself, what would be the ideal type of place that you would open up?
I'd like to open up a place that didn't mind me not being there all the time. And I notice a lot of business owners are just there all the time. Like, I don't want a job.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to be Chuck E. Cheese. Kind of put my face on the sign. I
Right.
come in, I play my little guitar, and I do my stuff, and then I just leave.
Give us an example of the style of your act, your stand-up act now. Like what kind of topics do you delve into? And
Nice try. I ain't doing my work for free unless you got a chicken bone to mail me.
no,
Sorry. People always try to do that, try to get me to perform for free, and I don't do nothing for free. I do it for chicken bones.
okay, I'll send you a chicken bone. Uh,
You
you,
humans are weasels.
you don't
Weasel.
you don't have to tell a joke. I just meant like, are you a one-liner comic, or are you a storyteller, or are you political, or
Oh, well, I guess I'm kind of a one-liner. I'm also edgy. I like to start fights with people in the audience and then,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, tell everybody how I owned them and stuff.
yeah, yeah. You put it on. You do a lot of social media. You got a lot of exposure that way.
I'm not on social media very much. No, I got banned from Yelp because I sent an erotic letter to Fuzzolis about the time I slept in their dumpster.
Find a different dumpster every night, or do you have one that you go back to and sleep in? I'm just curious what your housing is.
Well, there's you can just kind of hop around to the whoever's got the good stuff.
Right.
Certain nights of the week they're throwing away lasagna and breadsticks. You got to be at that Zoli's,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you want to be outside behind Indies. It just you gotta follow your nose, as Toucan Sam said.
Yeah. Yeah. and your mood. It just because it's a smorgasbord out there. You could choose about anything you want.
Mm-hmm. Smorgasbord. I believe that's a Swedish word for food orgy.
Do you, when you, I have so many questions about stand-up comedy. We're not gonna have time here tonight for all of them. But if we could just kind of I want to kind of get inside of your head and your feelings.
Yeah, make it quick, Kirk. I ain't got all night to quell your curiosity about every single thing in my life. So just pick a couple questions and then I gotta go.
Okay. Um, have you ever gotten up on stage and had the feeling that people didn't like you because of, you're a possum?
I have gotten that impression before. I have. Just because there's a lot of gasping and shrieking and somebody will yell, "Get the broom."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I ain't talking about the spill. They're trying to chase me off with that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad. Do you think that has formed your comedy? I mean, does any of that come back out in your in your act?
Well, I've taken it too far before. Sometimes I go up there with a broom, ready to
Yeah.
have kind of a sword fight with the person who comes up trying to shake me off.
Yeah. See how I tricked you and I drew some of your act out of you just then? Mr. Possum, I got to tell you, everybody watching this appreciates this so much. We're looking forward to seeing you out in maybe the Midwest sometime if you can ever get away from Vegas. I know the appeal of Vegas is great,
Yeah,
but we would
I
sure
probably
love to
won't
have you.
be there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd sure love to have you come around here and do a show real soon. I don't think we'd want to put you on a stage. It's only with half an audience. Let's wait till we can have a full the Brown Theater, let's say.
Right. Yeah, I'd rather wait as well, and we'll see what Vegas says. They real clingy, and they don't like me being other places. They
Oh, I
feed
got
me in buffet food and scraps.
you. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Okay. Well, Mr. Possum, we sure appreciate you being here,
Mhm.
and I want to thank you for all the other marsupials out there. The way you represent. I mean,
Yeah,
you do a really good job.
I know.
You seem to be articulate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I hope to see your act someday so
Yeah, I bet.
we'll all laugh.
Yep, you will.
Okay. Well, Mr. Possum, thank you so much. Now you go back in. I hope to find a good dumpster tonight.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. And I wish you the best as well.
thank you so much, Mr. Possum.
And I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks again.
Yep.
Yeah.